Welcome back, gamers, to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and if you happen to be new here, welcome to our family. And to get a seat at the dinner table, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we post new content every day, and I don't want you to miss out. Why would you want to miss out? Plus, I want to know what's the worst game that you've ever played. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, today, we'll be focusing on a already hated game. Let's jump into the top 10 reasons why Crackdown 3 is the worst game ever made. Number 10, release delay. It has been 5 years of waiting for fans of the Crackdown series. That would be acceptable in most cases for highly anticipated games. However, even though the first Crackdown was beloved, the second did not nearly perform as well, and the third is proving to be, well, even worse. Many even argued while in anticipating the game that it may be cancelled, but in an interview with Microsoft creative director Joseph Staten, he explained, "We knew going in when we started Crackdown 3 that this technological heavy lift, Azure-powered, multiplayer, fully destructible environments was going to take a lot of investment, a lot of time to get it right. To a large extent, the project schedule has largely been driven by that technology investment." Number 9, the creator left. Another big reason for the delays of Crackdown 3 was the shakeup in the creative team. In 2014, when the game was announced, Microsoft was very clear about Dave Jones, the series creator, being part of the team with his new company CloudGen. That company would provide a cloud computing service necessary for the wanted in-game destruction that would otherwise be impossible to create for the Xbox One. However, CloudGen was announced later on to have been acquired by Epic Games, and along with that, so was Dave Jones, thus crushing Microsoft's dreams of a big multiplayer destruction that in its original description even sounded futuristic for its time. When you lost the game's creator, it's pretty much downhill from there. Number 8, studio changes. The unfortunate thing with Crackdown is that each game was never made by the same studio even twice. The first was made by Real Time Worlds, the second by Ruffian Games, and the third game by Sumo Digital. Sumo is well known for games such as Forza Horizon, Sonic and All-Stars Racing, but while putting out great racing games, they certainly have had their problems. Everyone remembers the technical mess that was Little Big Planet, as well as the continued delays for games like Dead Island 2. With Sumo Digital's track record and being forced to not only solely work on the game, they've had a big loss to their cloud tech, so it's no wonder that this game just isn't performing well. Number 7, false promises. A long time ago, Microsoft got a little too excited about the release of Crackdown 3 and, well, began putting out videos and preaching about how it will top their previous games. With the game finally in the consumer's hands though, it's a major letdown. Not only did it get delayed because of the things that I mentioned earlier, but it's just not what they promised. The game lacks depth and destruction, it relies too much on filler, and the highly anticipated multiplayer mode was watered down due to the lack of cloud tech. It's simply the Crackdown backbone with remastered visuals and a sprinkle of chaos. Number 6, competition comparison. When those promises were being made, there wasn't much in the way of competition. I bet if it had been released on schedule, this would be an entirely different list. However, now in 2019, the competition for games is fierce. In comparison, Crackdown 3 is an enjoyable mess at best. Especially with games like Apex Legends and Anthem, this game just doesn't hold up. Also, because it's listed as an Xbox exclusive and can be played as part of the Xbox Game Pass, it's going to get a reputation for generally, well, lacking compared to Sony and even Nintendo exclusives. Number 5, multiplayer chaos. For the first Crackdown, the biggest selling point was that the game had a 2-player co-op, allowing people to team up and take out gangs. Then with Crackdown 2, they added a 4-player co-op, making things even better. Although with Crackdown 3, they've reduced that number back to 2. The game was originally announced to have a 4-player co-op, so this is again another one of those false promises. Usually with delays, it's because they're making the game better, not worse. Sure, they added a 4-on-4 multiplayer deathmatch mode, but it feels more like a cop-out to make those 4-player co-op people really happy. Again, it just feels rushed as a result. Number 4, too much Terry. We all love Terry Crews in shows like Everybody Hates Chris and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and let's not forget those classic Old Spice ads. However, Crackdown 3 for some reason is way too excited about the actor's involvement and seems to have based a lot of the game around that character. It was exciting 5 years ago to learn that Terry Crews would be involved, but now it's causing some worry. The last thing people want in a game is to steer away from the telling of a decent story so that he can crack a funny line. Number 3. Release date competition. The game was released February 15, 2019, the same day that 2 other long-running series games with die-hard fan bases also came out. You had Far Cry New Dawn and Metro Exodus also both dropped on this date, so not only was it released as an Xbox exclusive, but the competition is too much. They may have thought that this was a strategic move to release a bad game and hopefully avoid press because, well, everyone will be talking about those other releases. However, it looks as though if this was their plan, it's not working out for them. And at number 2, nothing new. As aforementioned, the game is essentially working off of the old Crackdown backbone, but that's not necessarily what gamers want. Usually these types of games consist of very similar actions. You run, you jump, you drive, you shoot, but with each new game that has those actions, they attempt to reinvent the wheel to make things interesting. Crackdown 3, however, plays like an Xbox 360 shooter with some better graphics at best. Even with that new look, the game's animation still looks kinda clunky and, well, old. If it had been released when it was originally promised, then sure, this game would have made sense, but with everything we've seen so far with games, it does not look good. And at number 1, level up. Lastly, there is this weird thing you have to do in this game that again would have made sense if it came out in the early 2000s. In a very Spyro-esque kind of way, the game makes you run around and collect these shiny DNA orbs to level up. Not only do you have to be shooting at enemies, but now you have to also be running around finding these weird orbs to just level your player up. It feels forced and something that gamers just don't want to spend hours on end searching for while trying to play the game. And that has been the top 10 reasons why Crackdown 3 is the worst game ever made. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, then turn that sad gray thumb into a blue one by giving us a like. And if you happen to be new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave, plus comment down below with your thoughts on this list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is click that playlist on your screen. From Top 10 Gaming, I'm Johnny Rogers. Until next time, take care.